It's just a quick video after our trip last weekend in Julimar, where I ended up getting stuck in some really horrible mud. I'll stick a couple of pictures up of that. However, the car wasn't really happy after that incident, and I've been driving it all week, to and from to work, up to 110 k's an hour, and she's been vibrating pretty badly. So I decided to just do a quick clean and show you guys what happened. It's really important if you've got stuck in mud, especially with an IFS car. The older cars you can get away with it. They're more hardy, if you like, than the newer cars. It doesn't matter what brand you've got, be it Land Rover, Toyota, whatever. If you get stuck in mud and you've got a newer vehicle, you're going to have that mud going into every little nook and cranny that it can. The danger that it has is when it hardens is that things that have a bit of leeway underneath the vehicle, joints, etc., suddenly don't have that leeway, and you've got this hard substance which is just like a bit of steel. That can cause all sorts of problems. It can also cause problems for when you go to get it serviced and the mechanics got to work on it. He's not going to be real happy, and he's probably going to charge you more for the inconvenience of getting covered in dirt and bits of mud. So it's worth, if you've been stuck in mud, just to get your car up, get the wheels off. You're not going to get it clean without taking the wheels off. As I said on this, 2 power washes already, didn't do much at all. Got off the big lumps that are on the outside, but didn't get anything that went through the nooks and crannies. The mud will go all through your chassis rails, it'll be everywhere. So it's worth taking the time to just get the car up, get the wheels off it, and pressure clean it. Just on pressure cleaning, you've got to be real careful with pressure cleaners. Lots of people think you can just do everything with them. If you go near any electrical connections, seals, etc., with a pressure cleaner, you've got to be really careful that you don't get water ingress through into those areas. Especially if you've got a petrol vehicle, especially around your coil packs, etc., you can really stuff them up with a pressure cleaner. So just be careful. 2 power washes later, and we're still full of mud. Well, that is what came out of just on the control arms, and yeah, that's after 2 power washes. Ah, this side's worse. If you're going to take the car and get it stuck in mud, you're going to get this. Buy a Land Rover, it drives you to drink. Problem with alloy wheels, even after 2 pressure cleans, there's nice little nooks everywhere that collect the mud and throw your wheel balance off. Well, that's all the muddy bits done. I just thought I'd finish this by talking about the wheels, tyres, wheel nuts, and what happened. I had my wheels realigned, and I had a rotation done at a tyre yard, and normally I check, but I hadn't until I started to take these wheels off. I normally carry in my car these items, which is a rattle gun, either that one or a Ryobi one, my little bar, and I always carry a torque wrench, because you should always torque your wheels up to the correct nanometers, newton meters, or whatever the pounds per square inch or whatever it is. And on a D3 it's 140 newton meters. I couldn't get 2 of the wheel nuts off using these 3 items. I had to go into my shed and dig out this bar, because that is the only thing with the length that I could get the wheel nuts undone by. Which is just a tip for young and old. Just make sure that you do check your wheel nuts before you go out, especially out bush, because if you haven't got something like that, you've got Buckleys to getting your wheel nuts off. I had a friend with a D2 actually snapped the studs trying to get his wheel nuts off. So just a tip, just check them. I always use a torque wrench. It's best to torque them to the correct pressure, rather than just do them as hard as you can, because that can stretch the bolts and you can break something anyway. Just while we're on the wheel nuts, as most of you would know, when you put in wheel nuts off and on, I use the rattle gun to take them off, or the bar. When I put them back on, I always put them on by hand. Don't ever use a rattle gun to start off a wheel stud, because if you cross thread it, you're screwed. So put it on finger tight, then you either use your bar or use the torque wrench to tighten them up. I only ever use the rattle gun to take them off unless it's a real emergency. When you're doing your wheel nuts up, you do them up diagonally, so don't ever just go around in a circle. You need to change the pressure across the faceplate of the wheel against the brake drum. So that's it for the time being, and I'm going for another drink. See ya.